Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast. The bad.
Yeah, exactly. While I look that up, you want to go into the bad?
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Seahawks and Lions defense. Like, I know that was an exciting game, but that was, both of those teams. One, I picked the Lions not to make the playoffs.
You're the worst.
I know. And two, the Seahawks, we thought they would be good, which they still might be. But when you see both defenses play like that, it makes you go, all right, well, these teams might make the playoffs, but it's hard to be serious when it's 37-31, and especially the second half, Seattle just did whatever they want, and then the Lions would come back and go right back down. So, a good game, but those defenses would make me extremely worried going, playing a good team.
You know how many sacks the Lions have this season so far?
Do they have one, maybe?
Yeah, one. Hutchinson, I don't know if you watched all the Lions games, maybe you haven't, but he is all over the place. But they have nobody else. And then, I don't mean to, I'm going to bring this up all season because it's worth mentioning. And then they draft a running back at number 12. It's like, we could have used, the Lions could have used pass rush. I'm trying to say it right. Pass rush. They could have used another pass rusher. They could have used so much more than that. And Gibbs hasn't really done anything special yet. I think if Goff would have actually, that pick six, if he would have threw ahead of Gibbs probably could have been running for a while, maybe. And then Gibbs had that one where he dropped it. He could have been running for a while, but I don't know. Yeah, you're right. The defenses weren't great. I don't know. And Seattle's team caused a fumble and they got an interception and their defense did enough to win the game. And that's how they won. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw too that Aiden Hutchinson has 13 QB pressures, which I think is tied for first, but they only, one sack. So it's just, you're right. It's just, you have one guy that can only do so much and he gets there and then the quarterback's like, well, I'll just escape the other way.
Yeah, it's because nobody else is getting pressure. It's silly. My bad. I'm gonna go Jacksonville Jaguars. They're especially we're obviously talking about week 2, but I'm just gonna put week 1 as well. Their offense has not looked the greatest. It's not the powerhouse offense we thought it was going to be. Lawrence, he barely completed 50% of his passes, completion percentage this last week. Their offensive coaching is really weird this season. I don't understand it. It's a lot of screens. They run in the line twice, to run the ball. They first and goal on the 1 yard line, they decide to run a QB sneak. And I think he lost 2 yards doing it. And it's just and then they ended up not getting a touchdown that drive. And then they went for it. And then when they were, I can't remember, they were, it was 7-6 or it was 9-14, and they went for it on the 50-yard line, a 4th down, and they gave the Chiefs a short field after the way the defense was playing. And I don't get that. The coaching, Mike McDaniels had a coaching error too. Dan Campbell did the same thing with Seattle, going for it when and they had the lead. They were up 21-7, but focusing just on the Jaguars, I just really disappointed in them in the first 2 weeks. And I'm definitely disappointed in this last game because even though I picked Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to win, it was really the Jaguars offense is the reason why the Jaguars lost, which you don't expect that from that offense.
Yeah, they were another team that I didn't pick to make the playoffs. I picked the Titans to win this division. I was more worried about their defense holding up against, the Titans. They'll make a game ugly. That was an ugly game, and maybe we need to give more credit to the Chiefs defense. I'll hold out on that, but I don't know. They don't seem well coached is the right way to put it. It just seems scattershot and here and there. They'll look great you think of that playoff game where they come roaring back and you're like, wow, this is going to be one of these great teams. And then put up 9 points, not even look, with it half the time. It just, I don't know, wasn't a good week for them.
Can they teach their wide receivers to toe tap? Like they had two plays that if Zay Jones just like gets his foot down, I think Luke said there was a third play like that too.
Calvin Ridley had one in the back too. He was running along the back of the end zone.
Yeah, it's just that's crazy to me. You got any other bads?
Yeah, the Packers run defense. This is like a running theme throughout the years, but my brother, the Optimus Packer fan, was like they should have won that game, but like which maybe they should have, but the Falcons also were stupid in half of those times, not running it at the goal line and having Desmond Ridder throw the ball 32 times. But it just, and I know I texted you earlier about why these teams keep these coordinators, but it's the same thing year after year. And I don't know how you have as much talent as the Packers have on defense and the Falcons just do what every other team does on a big moment, just ram it down their throats for 4 quarters, and it ends up costing them.
Yeah, I think we're going to definitely talk about that. I think maybe like right after this segment, we'll talk a little bit. That's some I didn't tease, but we'll talk about why teams hold on to these coordinators and coaches too long. Maybe we'll give our own theories. But yeah, Joe Barry, I'm not surprised that the defense. There was a couple plays where like they were giving Ridder like 10 yards, like the first down to pass. Like they were playing so far off of the wide receivers. Now, I think the Packers dropped 2 interceptions, at least one I remember seeing. But that Love had an interception drop too. So it's like, to me, they should have won, woulda, coulda, shoulda. The Lions should have won too. Like, I mean, like that's that. Like week to week, you probably every team plays 14 games that every year that goes either direction, right? Like you could have won. Like the point is, you just got to win. Jordan Love. Just speaking of which, he did not look impressive in the second half, and he's getting these like really easy touchdowns to sort of inflate his numbers a little bit. But it's interesting because he could end up he's on pace right now for 48 touchdowns, something like that. So we'll see if that continues.
Yeah, I mean, I've told Packer fans, I think this Sunday coming up is a good test because the Saints have a good defense. So, even if he has all his guys back, I think between their pass rush and a good defense, it'll be a test to see how far he's really come.
Yeah, I agree. Last another bet I had was just I kind of touched on it. The fourth down, going for it. I just don't understand what some of these coaches are doing. There's no like rhyme or reason. When your defense is playing so well, like the Lions or the Jaguars, I think that it happened to the Chargers, the Dolphins as well. It's like when your defense is playing so well, why would you give the other team momentum at the 50-yard line to travel a short field? Because at the very least, they'll probably get a field goal, right? So I don't understand these coaches. They love analytics, but they don't take in factor anything to do with like game flow. And it's kind of getting annoying and frustrating to watch some of these games because it's like, of course they're going to go for it here because that's what the numbers say. And I think like you've mentioned before, we've gotten too far into the numbers, I think, in this case.
Yeah, and the Lions one was extra frustrating because they went for it on 4th and 4 from their own 31 when it was 7-7. So just take the 3 points. But even if you let that one go and be like, oh, okay, is it the 4th quarter? Well, and in second or third quarter, when they were winning 21-7 and they went for it, 4th and 2 again near midfield. And you're like, you're winning.
Right. Yeah.
I know it's 4th and 2, and I do agree teams should go for it more than they do, especially like on a 4th and 1 when you're close. But the Lions just up and down, and then you give Seattle the ball near midfield, and they only got to go a little bit. Right. I think teams that have good, like if you're the Cowboys or the Niners or the Saints, like teams that have good defenses, it makes more sense because you're probably not going to give up a touchdown. When you're winning, like Detroit was, like they take the 3 points the first time and make Seattle go 80 yards or 90 yards, like make them take some time and drive the field opposed to we only got to get 2 first downs and we'll kick a field goal.
Right. And that's my big point. It's like, yeah, I get like some of these times you want to go for it, but like if you just see how the game's going and you got a, double-digit lead or whatever, and it's just like my defense has only really allowed like 10 total points. We're up, like, let's just say, I'm just saying the random, we're up 21-10. Why not just keep playing the field position until they can prove that they can travel downfield, right? So that's sort of how I feel. Where it's funny because like the Dolphins, when Mike McDaniels went for that 55-yard field goal, I was like, that's when you probably should go for it, because you should either go for it or punt it, because number one, you have like this explosive offense, you can get 3 yards, But the other thing is that the Patriots offense didn't move the ball all game. So why give it to them in a position to move the ball? I just don't understand. I don't know. Okay, you ready to go on to the ugly? Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.